As we left the sanctuary that day, there were two people standing there with their daughter that we hadn't seen in 20 years. And they invited us at that moment to their Sunday school class. And we went and we felt like we were at home. I don't know what I'd do without it today. It defines me.
Not until I kind of crossed the doors at Celebrate Recovery did I really start to really connect with what God could do in my life. I always struggle with those things that have been in my past, and I've been shackled and try to understand why I was struggling with something. But in reality, God looks at me and says, "Son, when are you going to stop fighting a battle that's already been won?"
She was diagnosed in about January of 2011. This outreach is not even about dementia. It's about caring for another being, another life. Although I can deal with a lot of harsh things, that one I couldn't deal with, because that's my mom. That's my mom.
They called for all the kindergartners to come up, and having Lucas have the opportunity to go sit up there was kind of a full circle moment for me, to watch him stand with a senior and think, gosh, that was just me standing up there, and look, now I am here as a mom, watching him get his Bible.
As my home dynamics kind of changed, then church became more of my home. And so high school, I just kind of really grew into this place and this community, and it really grew into me. That's the way that I found Jesus, is these people that had no stake in me, right? I'm this kid that runs around and climbs on the roof of things and all that. They showed me the love of Jesus because it was undeserved.
For 35 years, Custer Road has been a beacon of hope in this community. From our early days as a young church, meeting in the cafeteria of a school, we have dreamed big and stepped out in faith to see how God could work through us. In the beginning, we had just two ministries, Sunday school and worship, and it was in those ministries a vision for more was cast, and that vision was contagious. A move to a larger school, then dreams of our first building, $1 million capital campaign, and a loan co-signed by the members themselves. God has used this building and His people to do amazing things. We send missionaries to Mexico and beyond, build and repair homes locally and abroad, feed school children during the summer, and provide beds to people who have none. We inspire young musicians and help teens find their place and purpose. We provide special friends for kids in special needs and a respite for caregivers of Alzheimer's patients. We educate young minds and empower them to make a difference. We provide a place for the hurting to be healed and for strongholds to be broken. For the last 18 months, I have been privileged to lead the Power One Vision team. Dozens of dedicated lay leaders met regularly to pray, wrestle, and seek God's face for the future of our church. God has called us to be evangelists, family builders, missionaries, disciple makers, and worshipers. As we move into these areas, we want to dedicate the necessary resources now to help us move forward to the vision God has for us.
I think it's important for us to remember that a church is not a building. A church is a group of people who worship and serve God together, who are seeking to make disciples for the transformation of the world. And so even though there's a building behind me and we think of it as the church, really it's a tool and a resource for us to reach those whom God has called us to reach. And so the building redesign that we're going to be about is going to reflect the values and the vision that God has laid out for us as a congregation as we seek to reach new people with the love and grace of Jesus Christ. Our chapel will be prominently placed near the sanctuary in glass windows. Our lobby area will stretch a full 2 stories, allowing natural light to pour inside. And the new building redesign will allow visitors to find their way around our building easily. And also, parents of young children will be able to find our secured children's wing and can congregate near the children's play area. There will also be a hospitality area with a coffee bar, which will provide a natural gathering space for people to get to know one another. A modern worship venue will attract new families and a younger demographic while allowing our traditional worship services to continue to be the cornerstone of our congregational identity. Now, I don't know about you, but those are pretty exciting plans to me. But I think it's also important to note that those are just preliminary. There's still much to be done. We don't know exactly what things will look like, but I hope it gives you an idea of what's possible here at Custer Road.
This is an exciting time to be a part of Custer Road. We stand on a strong foundation, believing our most fruitful years of the ministry are still to come. As we move into this next chapter in the life of our church, I am reminded of Moses. He knew God called his people to a promised land, and it would take a lot to get there. I feel like we're standing at the top of Mount Nebo, staring the promise in the face, ready to move even more into who God has promised us to be. The promise lies in our neighbors, those people who live right around here, who are hurting and lost. There's more for them if we can help them find it. Are you ready to be a part of it? Are you ready to go above and beyond?